They never saw it coming, and neither did you. But it's here now. Something is shifting in the spirit realm, something that even the enemy can feel. And while the world moves through another ordinary Tuesday, God has appointed this day, this moment, this very second, for you to receive what they said you'd never get. This isn't just a blessing, it's divine compensation, a reward for all the years they overlooked you, misunderstood you, betrayed you, laughed behind your back, and walked away when you needed them most. You didn't stumble on this message by accident. This is your confirmation. You are the one, the chosen one. You've carried the weight of rejection like it was your inheritance. You've cried silently in the night while others celebrated. You've given more than you ever received, and still you rose. Not because it was easy, but because you had no choice. And now God is saying, enough. Enough suffering, enough delay, enough confusion. Tuesday marks a turn, a holy reversal, and if you dare to believe it, everything around you will begin to shift. You may have asked yourself lately, why am I still waiting? You've prayed, you've fasted, you've walked away from people who didn't deserve access to your energy. You've been quiet when your spirit was screaming, and even though it felt like nothing changed on the outside, heaven was moving on your behalf. The silence wasn't punishment, it was preparation. God was clearing the stage. He was making sure that when the blessing arrived, no one would get the credit but him. And now here we are. You're standing at the edge of something unexplainable. The door you thought was sealed shut is about to swing wide open. Not next year, not in some distant season, but on Tuesday. There's a divine mystery to how God works. He hides glory in the ordinary. He places miracles in moments that seem small to the world. A conversation, a dream, a whisper in prayer, and this Tuesday is wrapped in mystery. You won't see fireworks, you won't hear trumpets, but if your spirit is awake, you'll feel it. That inner stirring, that sudden alignment, that deep knowing that says, this is it. The blessing won't come how you expected. It won't arrive through the hands of those who doubted you. It will come straight from the throne, pure, undeniable, and right on time. For years, they told you you were too sensitive, too intense, too different. They mocked your silence. They dismissed your dreams. But what they failed to realize is that God hides his warriors in plain sight. You were never broken. You were hidden. Hidden in the shadow of the Almighty. Hidden under his wing while he shaped you. You were going through the fire not to be burned, but to be refined. You lost people not because you were unworthy of love, but because you were too sacred for their level. God removed them because they couldn't go where you're going. They couldn't handle the weight of your calling. And now their absence will make sense because God is replacing loss with legacy. And I need you to hear me now. Tuesday will look like any other day until you recognize what's happening spiritually. Don't get distracted. Don't allow your logical mind to talk you out of what your soul already knows. The enemy has always tried to make you doubt your timing, question your value, shrink your dreams. But not this time. This time you're walking into the divine with clarity. You're not begging for crumbs. You're standing boldly in your inheritance. You are the heir of favor, and heaven has already sent out the decree. You see, God chose you not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. You didn't give up when the nights were long. You didn't curse him when the doors closed. You didn't let bitterness consume your heart. And though you've fallen, you've always gotten back up. That resilience was not natural, it was spiritual. It was God holding you upright when the weight should have crushed you. It was God keeping your name clean while others tried to stain it. And it is that same God who is about to reward you openly for what you endured privately. There were days you felt invisible, like no one saw you, like your gifts were ignored, your efforts unappreciated. But heaven was recording everything, every tear, every quiet act of kindness, every battle you fought in silence. And now the scales are tipping in your favor. The blessings of Tuesday won't just be about what you get. They'll be about who you become. You're stepping into a new identity, not the wounded version, not the hidden version, but the bold, healed, elevated version that God always intended you to be. Some won't understand the glow on your face. They'll think something changed overnight, but you'll know this was years in the making. This was pain turned into power, isolation turned into revelation. They'll wonder why doors are opening for you so fast, why favor is chasing you down, why people are drawn to your light. And the truth is, it's because you're not the same anymore. You've passed the test. You've completed the process. And now God is saying, because you were faithful, I will bless you. Because you believed when it didn't make sense, I will exalt you. Don't shrink now. Don't dim your light for people who were comfortable with your struggle but can't handle your success. The same ones who laughed at your pain will be the ones watching your rise. But don't seek revenge. Seek revelation. Because your story was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving God right. And He is faithful to complete what He started in you. So breathe, prepare your spirit. Watch how the atmosphere begins to respond to you. Watch how things start to move without you forcing them. That's not luck, that's divine orchestration. And this Tuesday, something is going to break. Something is going to open. Something is going to arrive that only God could have planned. It won't be small. It won't be ordinary. It'll be big, undeniably big. And it'll come with a peace that surpasses understanding. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not cursed. You are chosen. And chosen ones don't follow the world's clock. They follow divine timing. And yours is now. You've walked through valleys that few could survive. You've tasted the bitterness of betrayal, endured the crushing silence of being misunderstood, and still, you kept going. You didn't realize it at the time, but every step you took in pain was a declaration to heaven that you wouldn't bow to the darkness. And now that obedience has echoed so loud in the spirit realm that even your enemies are starting to sense it. The shift, the rise, the divine reward. They can feel the tremble beneath your feet, and it's making them nervous because they know you're not the same version of yourself they tried to break. This life, your life, hasn't been random. It's been marked. Every storm was calculated, every heartbreak allowed, not because God was punishing you, but because He was preparing you. The anointing on your life was never going to be easy. Chosen ones never have smooth beginnings, but now the oil is flowing, the mantle is being placed, the crown is being adjusted, and heaven is saying, now watch what happens when my glory touches a vessel that stayed loyal in the fire. You've battled more in silence than anyone could ever know. The enemy didn't just attack your surroundings. He came for your mind, your peace, your identity. You've had to fight off thoughts that weren't yours. You've had to rebuild yourself after people tore you down without mercy. And still, there you were, rising out of the ashes with a whisper of a prayer and the fire of destiny burning in your belly. That's not weakness, that's warrior strength, that's divine DNA. That's what the devil couldn't kill. They may have taken your confidence for a season, but they couldn't touch your calling. They may have dimmed your joy, but they couldn't cancel your future. Because when God places a seal on your life, no devil in hell can override it. And you, beloved, have been sealed for greatness. That's why you felt such pressure. The enemy only applies pressure where there's promise. He doesn't chase empty vessels. He chases the ones carrying glory. And you've been carrying a move of God. Don't you see it? The battles you faced were not punishments. They were signals. You were never weak. You were targeted. Targeted because of what you carry, because of who you are, because of what you're about to release into this world. That's why people turned on you. That's why you felt the weight of rejection even from those closest to you. The spirit in them couldn't comprehend the destiny in you. But God allowed it because isolation became your sanctuary. Rejection became your redirection. And now the spotlight of heaven is about to fall on you. Tuesday isn't about a date on a calendar. It's about alignment. It's about a spiritual gate that's opening just for you. A gate that leads to a new dimension of purpose, clarity, and authority. And when that gate opens, what once resisted you will now respond to you. Things that were delayed will suddenly show up. Doors you thought were sealed shut will swing wide open. And people who didn't believe in you, will be forced to watch you walk in what God said was yours all along. But I need you to understand this. This moment isn't coming because of luck. It's coming because of your loyalty. You stayed true when the wilderness got cold. You kept worshiping when the music stopped. You kept trusting even when the tears blurred your vision. God watched you. He didn't miss a thing. He saw when you gave, even when you had nothing left. He saw when you forgave those who didn't say sorry. He saw when you praised him with an empty heart just to stay afloat. And now he's about to reward you in a way that makes all of hell tremble. That trembling you feel in your spirit, that's not anxiety. It's spiritual anticipation. Something inside of you already knows that something huge is on its way. It's why you've been feeling restless, emotional, even weepy for no reason. It's why your dreams have been intense, your prayers deeper. The spirit realm is already reacting. Angels are being dispatched. Assignments are being released. And Tuesday is the divine trigger. That's when things that have been locked up for years begin to move. You'll notice people start to reach out who once ignored you. You'll feel favor flowing in areas that used to feel like warfare, and you won't have to chase it. It'll find you, because God's hand is upon you, and the blessing isn't coming because of who likes you. It's coming because of who you belong to. You belong to the Most High, and when He moves on your behalf, it overrides every curse, every delay, every lie ever spoken against your name. There are people who buried you with words, who said you'd never make it, who laughed when you struggled. But let me tell you something. Seeds grow best in darkness. While they thought they were burying you, God was planting you. And now you're breaking the soil. You're about to bloom in a way that makes them question everything. But don't respond with pride. Respond with praise, because God is proving what you already knew deep down, that you were never forsaken, never forgotten, and never for a moment abandoned. And for those who left you when you were low, don't chase them. You're not going back. You're going forward. You're not in survival anymore. You're stepping into overflow, and God will surround you with people who see you, love you, and cover you in prayer, not just praise you in public. You're stepping into a new season of divine relationships, holy strategy, and kingdom impact. You are walking evidence of God's mercy, a living testimony of endurance. And when you walk into Tuesday, you won't be walking in fear. You'll be walking in power, because the same power that raised Christ from the dead is alive in you. And that power is about to turn your whole story upside down in the best possible way. So lift your head, wipe your tears, and steady your spirit. What's coming is going to make you forget the nights you wondered if it was even worth it. What's coming is going to silence every whisper that said you weren't enough. What's coming is going to announce to the world that you are not just chosen. You are called, appointed, and anointed for such a time as this. This isn't a coincidence. This isn't a maybe. This is your time, your Tuesday, your divine appointment with breakthrough. When God decides to move, He doesn't ask for permission. He doesn't consult your critics. He doesn't wait for people to approve your worthiness. He just does it. And now the time has come for justice, divine, unmistakable, public justice. This is the season where what was done to you in the dark will be redeemed in the light. God is not just going to bless you privately. He's going to lift you up in the presence of those who counted you out, because He wants them to see it. He wants them to know they touched the wrong one. They mishandled the chosen. You didn't go through all that pain for nothing. You didn't cry all those tears just to survive. You weren't left behind, isolated and forgotten, so you could live a quiet, hidden life. No, you were being built in secret for a moment of public glory. And God is saying now, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. That loss, that betrayal, that delay, it was part of a setup. The tables are about to turn in ways no one expected. And when they do, it will be clear who was truly walking with God all along. You see, there is something different about you. The anointing on your life makes others uncomfortable. It reveals their insecurity, their darkness, their envy. That's why you've been attacked by people you tried to love. That's why you were betrayed by those you supported the most. It wasn't just personal, it was spiritual. The enemy was trying to discourage you so deeply that you'd abandon your post. But you stayed. Wounded, yes. Tired, yes. But you stayed, and heaven never forgot. Now comes the reversal. Now comes the restoration. God is not just about to give you peace, He's about to give you authority. What once controlled you, you'll now command. What once kept you small, you'll now outgrow without apology. And those who once laughed at your faith will watch as your prayers come to life before their eyes. This is a season where God is going to make sure that the blessing carries your name on it, so there's no confusion. It won't go to someone else. It won't be redirected. It's yours, sent from heaven, sealed in purpose, marked by obedience. Chosen ones often ask, why me? Why the pain? Why the silence? Why the constant warfare? But what you're really asking is, why was I trusted with so much? Because it's a trust. God doesn't give His battles to just anyone. He assigns them to the ones He knows will come through refined, not ruined. You were trusted with the fire because He knew you wouldn't bow to it. And now He's about to crown you for surviving what was meant to destroy you. There's a reason God waited until now. You had to become someone new. The old you would have mishandled the blessing. The unhealed you would have let the wrong people back in. The tired you would have settled for less. But the version of you that's arriving now, this version is ready. This version has discernment. This version knows how to protect peace. This version doesn't beg for access or validation. This version walks in silent authority and doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. And yes, there will be questions. How did you get that opportunity? Why are doors opening for you? How did you go from overlooked to celebrated? But the answer won't come from your lips. It'll come from your life, from the favor that follows you, from the peace that surrounds you, from the fruit that no one can deny. Because when God raises someone up, it's not subtle, it's undeniable. And no lie, no slander, no jealousy can cancel what heaven has already stamped with purpose. You are not the same. You don't speak the same, move the same, think the same, and that's the point. You've evolved, you've elevated, you've endured. And because of that, there's a glory resting on your life now that cannot be explained by earthly means. It's not about talent, it's not about connections, it's not about hustle, it's about favor. And favor doesn't follow the rules. Favor overrides protocol. Favor accelerates the timeline. Favor breaks barriers, flips verdicts, and shuts the mouths of lions. But hear this, as God blesses you, stay humble, stay aligned, stay surrendered. Don't allow elevation to distract you from the one who lifted you. You didn't get here by chance. You didn't open this door. God did. And just as quickly as He opens it, He can close it, not to punish you, but to protect you. So guard your heart, guard your posture. Let praise be your foundation. Let worship be your weapon, because as much as the blessing is coming, so is the responsibility. You are now a living message. Every step you take is testimony. Every breath you breathe is proof of survival. And the world is watching, not just to admire, but to learn, because many will find hope in your story. Many will believe in God again because of what He does through you. Many will come out of hiding because they see you standing where you used to crawl. So don't take this lightly. You are walking into a prophetic fulfillment. You are walking into answered prayers from generations before you. You are walking into the kind of moment that rewrites destiny. And the enemy knows it. That's why he's been turning up the pressure. That's why the warfare's been heavier. That's why you've been feeling drained, stretched, tested, because the closer you get to promise, the more hell tries to convince you it's not real. But I'm here to remind you, not only is it real, it's already in motion. The enemy is late. He can't stop what's already been approved in heaven. The scrolls have been written. The angels are assigned. The timing is exact. And Tuesday is about to become a spiritual landmark in your life. This is a moment of divine balance, where everything that was stolen gets returned, where every injustice gets reversed, where everything you had to do in secret, the praying, the forgiving, the healing, now becomes a spotlight for glory. You won't have to explain it, you'll just have to walk in it. Quiet confidence, holy power, righteous authority. Because this is what you were made for. It's time, it's happening, heaven is responding. You've probably wondered why it had to be you, why your heart had to be the one shattered over and over, why the people you poured into drained you, why every time you reached a new level, you were met with a new battle. And the answer is layered, but it's divine, because the calling on your life is not ordinary. Your purpose carries weight, your voice carries breakthrough, and the enemy has always seen what you carry, even when you couldn't. That's why you were attacked as a child, why you felt alone in rooms full of people, why you sensed things before they happened, why you couldn't settle for what others called good enough. You were marked from the beginning, a vessel carved out for something much bigger than this world could define. And that kind of purpose draws resistance, not because you're cursed, but because you're chosen. People will always misunderstand what they can't define. And you were never meant to be defined by surface-level things. You were never meant to fit in, to blend, to follow the crowd. You were designed to disturb darkness. You were born to disrupt generational cycles, to break chains, not wear them, to tear down strongholds, not tolerate them. That's why people rejected you. Not because they saw your weakness, but because they sensed your authority. Even when it was still dormant, your presence made spirits uneasy. You were the mirror they couldn't face. You were the one that made them question their compromise. And so instead of healing, they chose to hurt you. Instead of celebrating you, they competed with you. But don't take it personally. They weren't equipped to handle who you are becoming. And that's okay, because this journey was never about pleasing people. It was about fulfilling prophecy. And prophecy comes with a price. What you've experienced wasn't just life. It was divine preparation. Every time you were silenced, you were learning how to speak with power. Every time you were overlooked, you were learning how to stand alone. Every time you were betrayed, you were learning the difference between covenant and convenience. It wasn't punishment, it was positioning. God needed to remove the noise around you so you could hear him clearly. He needed to strip away your dependence on people so your faith wouldn't be rooted in applause but in his voice. He needed to harden you without making you cold, to humble you without crushing your spirit. And you passed the test. Yes, even when you thought you failed, you passed, because you stayed in the fight. You refused to quit. You let the fire shape you rather than destroy you. And now you are walking in a level of clarity that only comes through suffering. You see, the pain wasn't the threat. It was the teacher. It taught you how to pray, not panic, how to listen, not react, how to discern what's real and what's a trap. And now that you've been refined, your light can no longer be dimmed. You're not who you used to be. You're wiser. You're spiritually sharper. And you are more dangerous to the kingdom of darkness than you've ever been before. That's why the attacks became more psychological. The enemy couldn't touch your purpose, so he came after your identity. He tried to convince you that the delay was denial, that the silence meant God forgot you, that your broken heart meant you were unworthy. But he's a liar, and now that you see him clearly, he's losing grip. You've reclaimed your power, not just emotionally, but spiritually. You now understand that your delays weren't denials. They were divine recalibrations. You now know that every door that didn't open was God's mercy, not punishment. That every no was protecting you from a future you couldn't see yet. You weren't being punished. You were being preserved. Held back not because you weren't ready, but because your environment wasn't. And now, as Tuesday approaches, everything is finally in place. You'll begin to see why it all had to happen, why that relationship had to fall apart, why that job didn't last, why you had to move, why you had to walk away from some people without closure. Because if you had stayed where you were, you would have missed what's coming next. And what's coming next isn't just a blessing, it's an assignment, a divine placement. God is about to plant you where your presence shifts atmospheres, where your voice unlocks destinies, where your light heals wounds. This is bigger than comfort, bigger than status, bigger than approval. This is kingdom work, and only those who've been through the crushing can carry the oil. That's what you've got now, oil, the kind that costs, the kind that makes demons nervous and angels celebrate. And on Tuesday, the oil on your life will begin to flow publicly. What has been cultivated in private is about to go global. You may not be on a stage, you may not have a title, but the anointing will speak for itself. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being willing, available, surrendered. God is not looking for flawless people. He's looking for faithful ones. And you, beloved, have been faithful. You've cried, yes. You've stumbled, yes. But you never let go. You kept your heart open even when it was breaking. You kept showing up even when you were exhausted. And that counts in heaven. That matters. Your endurance has built an altar before God. And now He's sending fire down. Don't be surprised when things start accelerating. When people begin to come to you for wisdom, clarity, healing. Don't be surprised when doors start opening that you never even knocked on. That's what favor does. It goes ahead of you. It prepares the way. And you don't need to fight for what God has already written with your name on it. But stay anchored, stay grounded, because the same people who once dismissed you will now try to align with you. Not all of them are sent by God. Some are attracted to the glow, not the grace. And you'll know the difference. Trust your discernment. The same Spirit that brought you through the valley will guide you through the palace. Don't trade purity for popularity. Don't compromise now. You've come too far. You are not just entering a new season. You are stepping into your true identity. The one that was hidden under years of pain, fear, and survival. That version of you is gone. What remains is the healed, awakened, bold, holy version of who God always saw. And when Tuesday comes, something in the Spirit will snap into place. It will feel sudden, but it's been coming for years. You'll feel the alignment, you'll know, and you'll never be the same again. You don't need another confirmation. This is it. Deep down, your spirit already knows that something sacred is unfolding, and Tuesday is just the beginning. You've waited for this not just with patience, but with sacred endurance. You've held on when it didn't make sense, trusted God when you had no evidence, and chose faith when fear would have been easier. That's why heaven has marked you. That's why angels have encamped around you. That's why this moment, this week, this Tuesday is not to be ignored. The world will keep spinning like nothing is happening, but you will feel it in your bones, a soft thundering within your chest, a calm before the miracle. The atmosphere around you will begin to shift in small, holy ways. The right words will come at the right time. The right person will walk in when you're not even looking. That overdue breakthrough will suddenly arrive without warning. And when it does, your soul will whisper, "This was the moment. This is what the pain was for. This is why I didn't quit." You were never meant to be ordinary. You were never meant to live in hiding. Your purpose was never meant to stay buried beneath people's projections. That ache in your spirit, that longing for more, it wasn't greed. It was your spirit remembering what heaven wrote about you. And what was written, no one can erase. You were born for such a time as this, born to shake things, born to awaken others, born to carry glory into dark places and call the lost back home. So take a deep breath, let your heart open wide, and stand firm in who you are, the chosen one, the one God has defended in silence, the one he has hidden in pain only to now reveal in power. You are not just a survivor. You are not just a good person. You are a vessel, a walking testimony of divine grace, a mirror of God's mercy, a warrior of light. And as this chapter turns, so will everything around you, with the force of heaven behind it. The struggles you've faced weren't for shame. They were for shaping. And now you have become the shape of strength. You've become a carrier of holy fire. You've become a force that hell can't silence, and your enemies, they'll have no choice but to watch. Watch as the hand of God lifts you from the background to the front. Watch as he restores everything you lost and multiplies it with interest. Watch as you walk with grace through doors they tried to keep shut. But don't gloat. Don't seek revenge. You're above that now. This is your harvest, not your war. The battle was already won when you didn't give up. This is your season to receive. So lift your head high, not in pride, but in praise, because every scar is about to make sense. Every wound is about to shine with oil. Every tear is about to turn into rain for the seeds you didn't even know you were planting. God will not just bless you, he will establish you, not just elevate you, but anchor you. You won't have to worry if it will last, because what he builds, no man can tear down. You won't have to protect it in your own strength. Heaven is already covering you. And as you rise, you'll realize this blessing isn't the finish line. It's the beginning of your true assignment. Now comes the impact. Now comes the influence. Now comes the kingdom movement your spirit has been carrying all along. So don't shrink. Don't second guess. You don't need to get ready. You already are. The fire has refined you. The delay has strengthened you. The heartbreak has purified your intentions. You're walking into this new season with authority that doesn't come from degrees or titles. It comes from surviving what others didn't. It comes from standing when it would have been easier to fall. It comes from having nothing and yet still choosing to believe God would be everything. And he was. He still is. And he's about to be more than enough. This Tuesday isn't just another 24-hour cycle. It's a spiritual turning point, a divine unlocking. And your only job is to recognize it, to stay in position, to guard your atmosphere, to let your heart remain open, and to speak life over what God is birthing in you. Because it's here now, it's been coming, and it will not be delayed any longer. You were chosen not to be famous, but to be faithful, not to impress the world, but to shift it. And that shift starts with you, right here, right now. So walk boldly, walk humbly, walk silently if you must, but walk. Let every step be a declaration that you know who you are now. Let your peace confuse the enemy. Let your joy become your armor. Let your silence thunder louder than any revenge ever could. Heaven is watching, hell is trembling, and the earth is making room for you, chosen one. It's time.